With Trey Yingst. Trey, I know you had a rush inside moments ago. What is happening there? Tell us.
Laura, gunfire is erupting across the city of Kyiv at this moment. Off in the distance, we heard gunfire and explosions around the central part of this capital city in Ukraine. But just a few moments ago, gunfire started coming from all different directions, so we had to move inside very quickly. There were a number of tracer rounds you could also see in the distance, indicating this is really widespread in the city. It's not just one location where there are Ukrainian troops battling Russian forces. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky warned of this scenario, basically saying tonight would be the night that decides the fate of Ukraine. Clearly, the Russians are facing some fierce resistance in the streets of Kyiv. And tonight, again, the gunfire continues inside the city limits. And we know outside of the city, there are reports of more Russian troops trying to make their way to the Ukrainian capital. Russia attacking Ukraine from multiple directions and attacking this city from multiple directions. It's not just Kyiv tonight where there is renewed violence taking place. Also Kharkiv, the second largest Ukrainian city, taking a lot of fire, according to reports. We are going to limit what we say about the Ukrainian side and the Russian side tonight in terms of statements about different accusations that have been made by both sides, reports of planes being shot down and the like. We want to hold off on this information because there's a lot of things flying around tonight. What we can report is what we can see and what we know based on who we have talked to. And that is that there are Russian troops inside the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv at this moment. It is a worst-case scenario for the Ukrainian forces, but the Russian troops are faced with some difficult days ahead, according to the people that we have talked to. Everyone from civilians to army troops to members of parliament say they will fight tooth and nail to protect this city, and they will not allow the Russians to occupy it. Laura?
Trey, President Zelensky made it quite clear in his last appearance on video that it may be the last time he speaks to his people because he believes he's target number one. As he said, his family is target number two. We're showing the video now. He's on the move. We don't know where he is. Obviously, he wants to keep safe, but also he's not leaving that country, as some so-called leaders have abandoned theirs, as we saw in Afghanistan. Any sense of his ability to rally the people at this hour?
He is trying his hardest to rally the people, speaking directly to his population, saying that they must resist the Russians. The difficult part here is that Russia comes to this battle with air power and ground power that the Ukrainians early on will be able to push back. And we have seen that in the early hours of this fight. But it is not sustainable. And it's part of the reason that you saw Ukrainian President Zelensky appealing to the international community and pleading with them to send weapons to this country. And while today or yesterday, you had the NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg say there will be air defense systems delivered to Ukraine. The big question is, how are they going to deliver those systems? There is no air travel into this country right now. Martial law is declared because fighting is erupting in the streets of the capital. And it's too late, really. I mean, this battle will likely continue. They're not giving up. You can hear it out in the streets of Kyiv tonight. But the question is, how will they get more supplies here?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing you do is take the airports, and they've secured the airports. So, Trey, thank you for staying with us. Please stay safe. You've done unbelievable work for us there tonight.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.